Hey everybody, and I'm Glendor here, and welcome to another episode of Monster Month with Ben 10 Protector of Earth, the video game. This game was one of my favorite games for the PS2. It's probably in my top. It's actually in my top 12 favorite PS2 games. And if you guys want, I've been thinking about doing a video game exclusive month for a while. Not sure when that would be. I could probably get around to it at some point before May. I'm not sure when though. But if you guys are interested in that, please let me know, and I will consider it. But yeah, so Ben 10 Protector of Earth. This game was so fun, and it is so easy to 100% because there's not really much you need to collect. The most you have to collect is special Sumo Slammer cards. There are three of them in each. There are three of them in each level, and you need to get all three. You need to get all three of them to unlock special artwork for each stage. It has special artwork, and you also get ranked for how quickly you beat the level, and how much time for how quickly you beat the level, and for how many enemies you defeat and how much health you have by the end of the level. Like, you get graded based on that, and the A rank is the highest, and so you want to try to get A rank on all of them if you want to be a completionist. But it's a very easy game to complete. So anyone who's aspiring to be a completionist, I would recommend this game to start off with. Start off with something simple. Don't jump into something like Super Meat Boy or Skyrim or something like that. Don't jump into that, because that's going to take you for fucking ever. But I would recommend something like this. Something that has a completion bonus, and it has things that you can actually do to complete the game besides the actual story itself. But it's also very simple. But once you get all that stuff and you beat all the levels, you unlock an extra level. You unlock an extra level where Ben goes to the Null Void, and that level can actually be done twice. The first time you go through it, it's just the all the different types of mooks that you've found throughout the game, and the different variations of those mooks. They don't throw the same three enemies at you in every stage like a lot of games nowadays do. They actually have specific mooks for the different areas that you go to in the US, which I really, really appreciate. I'm really happy that they did that, and that it's not just the same three to five mooks in each area. There are a few clones here. Or there, but a few clones here or there, like, they might have different designs, but they're essentially the exact same enemy. There are a few of them, but for the most part, a lot of the enemies are very unique to their areas. So I really appreciate that. That is a very nice touch that I do greatly appreciate. And that's the first time you play through it. If you've collected all the Sumo Slammer cards, and you get an A rank the first time you go through that bonus level, you actually unlock a second part to that bonus level, in which it's essentially just a boss rush. You're fighting off against a bunch of the different bosses that you fought throughout the game, uh, such as Animo, 66, Hex, Clancy, Kevin, Enoch. You're fighting against all of them again. Uh, and you're fighting against all of and Ghost Freak. Yeah, you're fighting against all of them again, and uh, it is very cool. You have to figure out different ways of beating them, ways that you didn't have the first time that you fought them, when they were actually bosses. This time they seem more like mini bosses because they take less hits to go down, but their punches do a lot more damage to you, which, that's just how it is. That's the trade-off. But you have to be creative and come up with new ways of beating them. And if you know the controls, and if you know the aliens you have at your disposal, and if you know, and if you remember how you beat them in the first place, you should be able to come up with a way to take them down a second time with that knowledge. But like, for instance, when Ghost Freak shows up, in the boss fight, you're supposed to utilize the light shining down. You're supposed to utilize the light shining down, from the ceiling, and kind of redeflect it towards Ghost Freak to make him vulnerable, so that you can go up to him and just beat the shit out of him. That's in the boss fight. In this, Heat Blast is the most effective alien against Ghost Freak. Since Heat Blast's species lives on a sun. So yeah, that is very interesting. But basically, the story is pretty simple. Vilgax, throughout most of the game, is trying to escape the Null Void. He's trying to escape the Null Void because he's been trapped in there. And even from the Null Void, he somehow managed to get all of these villains to essentially come together in order to help him escape. Even Kevin was somehow sent back to the human world, and after you defeat him, a Null Void portal opens up and sucks him back in. Yeah, I don't know how Vilgax was able to pull it off, but it was really cool. It gave me Silence of the Lambs vibes. How with Hannibal Lecter, and how he could be behind bars and he'll still find a way to kill you and your loved ones. I just think that's so cool. And Vilgax was essentially that guy. He was the Hannibal Lecter of the Ben 10's of this Ben 10 game. And it was just really cool that he was able to do all this and pull all this off. But aside from that, basically you only get 5 aliens to control, and Ben doesn't get all of his other aliens back until after he defeats Vilgax. But you're still not able to use them in the special level, which I would have liked it if they had made it to where that was your reward. For getting A ranks on all the missions, getting all of the Golden Sumo Slammer cards in all the levels, including the final level and the bonus level, and getting A ranks on the final level and bonus level. All that stuff, I would have liked it if that was my reward for doing all of that. But what we got was kind of an art booklet to show us artwork of series and a couple behind the scenes videos showing us like what went into making the game and whatnot. And also a sneak peek at a look back to the first 3 seasons and a sneak peek at season 4. So like we got quite a bit of stuff for a completion bonus. We actually got a bunch of stuff for a completion bonus. I just kind of wish that we had gotten some of the other aliens as well. It would have been nice to have. It would have been nice to have like Upchuck or Benwolf, Upgrade. It would have been nice to have and Diamond Head. We see Diamond Head enemies, yet we don't get Diamond Head as a playable alien. I get the feeling that Diamond Head was originally supposed to be an alien that you could turn into, but they decided to take him out. It feels that way because there are so many, because there's a lot of enemies in one of the particular areas that have a lot of diamond enemies. And I'm thinking, oh my god, are we going to get Diamond Head? But we never do. And I'm like, oh man, that's such a missed opportunity. But yeah, the 5 aliens you get are Accelerate, Heat Blast, Forearms, Cannon Bolt, and Wildvine. Those are the 5 that you have. Those are the 5 that you have at your disposal. You can also fight as Ben, which it's cool that Ben himself can actually fight alongside, fight as well as his aliens. Though I would have liked it. There is 2-player mode in this, but it's just another Ben. It's a Ben clone. I just kind of wish that for 2nd player, they would have made it so that you could be Gwen. The 2nd player could be Gwen, and she could essentially stun enemies and like, I don't know, maybe she could have had a magic gauge, and she could like use that magic gauge to do different things. Like that would be really cool. That would be really cool because this game, based on who's in it and the dialogue between all the characters, it seems this game takes place in between seasons 3 and 4. The only thing that's weird about that is the fact that Vilgax has his Ben 10,000 look instead of the look that you see right here on the box cover. It's weird. It's weird. I don't understand why they chose that specific look for Vilgax. But whatever. But yeah, it essentially takes place in between seasons 3 and 4. And it gives us kind of like a final look at Kevin and how much of a tragic case he is. And I love this game. I absolutely love it. I think it's an amazing game. I actually ended up replaying the game before recording my first attempt at making these videos. And it was really fun. I had a lot of fun with it even today. The animation still looks pretty clean. It still runs very smooth. The controls are very responsive, very easy to control, very fun to play. And yeah, that's really all I gotta say about it. So, did you guys play the Protector of Earth video game? Let me know in the comment box below what you think of it. And I hope you're ready for more Ben 10 content, because I got a lot more coming for you in the next few days. So until then, I will see you guys next time. Alright, take care everyone.